haven't done a blog in a while, so this is pretty much unscripted, just kind of a conversation with myself. But over this past year, a lot's happened for me, and definitely grown both as a front-end developer designer and also just a person. And a lot of that has to do with being a parent now. But I've come to age, and my 6-month-old son reminds me every day, like, the purpose of life, as opposed to just something like grinding away, trying to get the best at what you do and get your paycheck, live till you're old and die. So I'm pretty blunt with that concept, but like on my own, and from probably people who know me, they probably think I work like crazy, and in reality I do. I probably overwork, but I have that drive. I think that's a very entrepreneurial mindset, and in most cases my end game might be to somehow fund my own venture in life and make a living doing it, be happy doing it, and also maybe like team up with just friends or people who I'm passionate about working with to do it, as opposed to just going becoming a developer, making money at a big company, and just doing the daily grind. So recently the Basecamp guys, this is what comes to mind. The Basecamp guys released a book that you don't have to work, I don't know, it's like 80 hours a week or something like that. There's a actual title for it. I'm sure I'm butchering it, but I actually have the book, which is sad, but it's resonating me as I'm reading it, because it's just like I get in this funk of, if I don't constantly hustle and find my way to each new product, each new app or something like that that I want to build on my own, then I'm not progressing. I'm not going to get to where I want to be in life. And reality is I'm where I want to be, and I constantly beat myself up over it because I haven't gotten to some fictitious goal that's probably impossible to get to. But my end game, I think, is just to be more stable with my working life plus my professional life, and of course family life, personal life. So this video is really about nothing in particular, but it's just it's 2018 and I'm reporting in, and this is what I've been up to. I haven't vlogged in a while. Maybe talk about the state of things. My side project Affinicast, I'm actually going to sunset, so that's kind of news to everyone. Only a handful of people know. The project itself was a really good success. The launch itself went really well. It was number 2 on Product Hunt for most of the day, and it was actually featured, so that was cool. I even got to chat with some of the folks at the Affinity Serif team. And if you don't know what the app is, it's kind of just a tutorial-based app that is strictly for the Affinity Serif apps. So Affinity Designer, Affinity Photo, maybe you've heard of them. And they just actually launched Affinity Publisher in a beta. And while I love working in those apps, it's really got to affect me in the terms of how much work it actually was to create tutorials, to edit them, to share them, and have that constant week or so in advance ready that would be consistently going to progressively scale that app. I ended up with about, I think, like 100 or over 100 videos, tutorials on it, and a lot of good feedback. And it was essentially just something that people didn't really need. So I think that was what part of the problem was when I first launched. I spent too long on the development of the product. That's not to say that I didn't learn a ton, because I literally learned Ruby on Rails through that project, at least the more advanced concepts, because I was learning it alongside of it and way before then, as you see on some of my YouTube channels. And through it, I've really just grown, and I've found out where I want to focus next, as well as other projects that seem more lucrative than the one that I tried with it. So also I'm actually working on a new course that's actually based on Ruby on Rails. It's kind of more for the people new to the framework, maybe interested in using it, or just someone like me who was interested in building their idea out and using a framework as a place to just do it quicker and more performant than trying to invent it from scratch. Like a lot of newer frameworks, a lot of the JavaScript stuff is very cool, but nothing's just completely polished and ready to go to production yet. You kind of have to pick and choose what your stack will be, and people new to this stuff like that are kind of blind. So that's where I struggled with that initially when I chose a framework to develop my own app. But that's why I kind of landed in the Ruby on Rails world, because I looked up to Basecamp, or GitHub uses it. Dribbble, where I work now, uses it, and it's a sweet framework. I really enjoy it. And that's why I'm kind of just doing this first glance course at it. It's really geared around a lot like my stuff on my YouTube channel, but I'm taking it way further in terms of context. So it'll actually be like way more videos, way more content, and it will build like an actual scalable app out of it. So that's the whole idea, and explore things like email, explore things like background jobs, and kind of stuff like that. So hopefully you're interested in that. I'm kind of pitching it blind, because I know there's already Ruby on Rails courses and tutorials out there, but I feel like mine's more not better, but maybe like just comprehensive in terms of you're building an app, you're going to build it with me, and I'm going to walk you through each step, as opposed to in this chapter, we're going to install a gem and do this, and then it's over, So instead of concepts, I want to actually build things. And that's basically my entire approach to my blog and my YouTube channel. And that's just kind of the way the channel is evolving. So it's based on stuff I want to learn, and not much more. So it might be biased, but like JavaScript, I suck at it. And I actually have the video called I Suck at JavaScript. So if you want to find that, definitely check it out. But essentially, I suck at it. So now I'm doing these JavaScript tutorials to teach myself, for one, the basics of JavaScript, and two, how to get better at it. And through teaching is how I kind of learn. So hopefully it helps you guys. It's kind of been my passion lately, is to just keep this channel and blog going. And it's just, I don't know. I don't vlog much, so this is probably just completely boring. But yeah, so look to new stuff with Rails coming out. Doing more of the JavaScript stuff for the blog and, of course, the channel. I'm exploring new concepts for either series or just one-off videos to kind of just dive deeper into maybe Rails in the like a nugget fashion. I know that's against the whole course concept I had just talked about, but that would be an upsell for you to go check out the course, and that's kind of where I'm at with that. Also, I'm in the process of partnering up with a couple of folks to do a cool side project that's very Rails oriented. I'll share more on that. I'll share more on that soon. You might have heard of the guys we're working with if you're interested or have been in the Rails community for a minute. So aside from that, I could continue to ramble, but I'm just kind of reporting in, just saying, hey, if you have specific things you want to learn or know of, and you like my teaching style, feel free to just reach out on the comments or whatever and just give me a shout. I'll definitely entertain the idea of exploring completely new languages if I need it someday, or if I'm just interested in maybe learning it. I'm definitely interested. So with that, I think I should shut up. I don't know how far I've gone here, maybe about 10 minutes. Feels like longer, but yeah, not much else to report. I've been at Dribbble now for a year. Almost in December, I'll be a year. So that's been a great experience. The team is growing fast. Very, very interested in the product world more so now that I'm actually a product designer. And I feel like I've done WordPress stuff in the past, a lot of marketing based sites. And until you switch over to an actual product, do you really get the sense of iteration and stuff like that. So with a lot of client projects I used to do, I would just kind of, design it, build it, it's done. And that client would pay you, they'd get their invoice, you'd be done with them, you go on to the next client. Very transactional, which was fine. It was fun. But I kind of craved more. So that's why I've actually joined the team and wanted to pursue more with a product role. And in that, I learned a lot in terms of scaling things, for like just being a more detail-driven designer and developer. You have to just think of the user way more as opposed to just a content-facing site. So you always have to be empathetic and put yourself in their shoes, no matter what move you make, and that's super important because you could really screw things up if you go wrong there. And yeah, with that role, it's been really cool. Again, the team is one of the best I've worked with ever, so shout out to them. And yeah, I think that's all. Yeah, so until next time, maybe I'll have more context to talk about. One of my best performant videos is my actually development setup, so I think maybe I'll do one of those soon to show you what's new with my 2018 setup. It's not really much different than last year, besides a few new apps that I have on my dashboard and whatnot. So definitely transitioned to more of a Firefox guy, which is cool, from Chrome. I'm using Figma more as my main design tool. Still use Sketch because I like it, but of course the Affinity apps for illustration and whatnot. So yeah, anyway, I'm rambling. Until next time, peace.